Meanwhile, the Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind is all set to hold another massive gathering in Uttar Pradesh's Deoband today. At least 5,000 Muslim organizations are set to participate. The meeting is organized to discuss issues surrounding mosques and the controversy surrounding the Gyanvapi Mosque, the Mathura Mosque, and also monuments such as Qutub Minar. There was a huge gathering that happened yesterday. That was day one of this meet in which all of these issues were discussed, and largely the Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind passed a memorandum against alleged Islamophobia amid the ongoing Mandir-Masjid row. 3 proposals were passed at this meeting. The Muslim outfit has claimed that Muslims are being maligned and targeted across the country. The BJP responded to this, saying that this Muslim outfit is holding such gatherings to spread hatred and promote fear-mongering.
लोगों को, भारतवासियों को बांटने के लिए धर्म को यूज कर रहे हैं और नफरत की बात करते हैं। हमें हैरत इस बात पर है कि इतनी नफरत आदमी अपने मन में रख कैसे सकता है, इसी पर हैरत होती है। तो हमारा कहना यह है कि भाई आप नफरत की बात करोगे, तोड़ने की बात करोगे, हम जोड़ने की बात करेंगे। आप नफरत की बात करोगे, हम मोहब्बत की बात करेंगे।
वो जानकर एक हवा खड़ा कर रहे हैं। सच यह है कि जितनी चिंता इस सरकार ने माइनॉरिटीज की करी है, उतनी चिंता किसी ने करी नहीं, परंतु कुछ लोगों को जानकर एक माहौल खड़ा करना है देश में कि जिससे देश की बदनामी हो।
ये बातें तर्कों पे और सत्य पे आधारित नहीं है, और अगर इतनी चिंता उनको जतानी है तो देश में कुछ और ऐसे मुस्लिम संगठन है, जैसे PFI को ले लीजिए, जो मासूम बच्चों को इस प्रकार से वो सिखाते हैं कि दूसरे धर्मों के प्रति वो अपना खराब मंशा से उनकी तरफ बात करें। तो ये भी तो गंभीर विषय है। तो ये बातें जो इन्होंने उठाई देवबंद में, ये तथ्यों पे नहीं आधार है। बाकी उन्होंने किस लिए कारण से उठाया, उनसे पूछिए।
देश में 60-70 साल से कुछ दल और कुछ मजहबी नेता इस बात में लगे हैं कि मुसलमानों को मुख्य धारा में नहीं आने देना, उनको हिंदुस्तानी नहीं बनने देना, और इसलिए उनको भड़काना और लड़वाना इस काम को करते रहते हैं। इसी का मॉडल जमायत का सम्मेलन भी था।
मैं समझता हूं कि आज बुनियादी मुद्दों पे, वो चाहे मुस्लिम धर्मगुरु हों, हिंदू धर्मगुरु हों, ईसाई धर्मगुरु हों, सिख धर्मगुरु हों, देश की सरकार हो, आम आदमी पार्टी वाले लोग हों, बीजेपी वाले हों, कांग्रेस वाले हों, हम सब की प्राथमिकता ये देश होना चाहिए, इस देश की तरक्की होनी चाहिए।
Let's get you also the latest updates on the Gyanvapi case. The advocate for the Hindu petitioner's side has claimed that attempts were made to remove crucial evidence from the mosque premises, and it was in fact the security personnel on ground who prevented the removal and destruction of key evidence. The Masjid Intizamiya Committee has in fact completely rejected this, saying that these are diversionary tactics, and they've maintained that there's evidence of a fountain. The Hindu side, of course, has said very clearly that that is a shivling, not a fountain.
Sensational claim made by the lawyer for the Hindu petitioner in the Gyanvapi case in Varanasi. Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain claimed that an attempt was made to tamper with the evidence in the Gyanvapi case at the mosque premises.
मेरा क्लेम ये है कि जब ये उनकी पोजीशन में था, इसको एक फव्वारा बनाने की कोशिश की गई है और इसमें छेद किया गया है, और वो चक्री जो इनकी पूरी थ्योरी है फाउंटेन की, वो वहाँ से उत्पन्न हो रही है। इसलिए मेरा ये कहना है कि ये जो इन्होंने छेद किया है, इसमें ये इंटेंशनली किया है और इसको फव्वारा बताने की कोशिश की है, जो कि एकदम गलत है।
The Hindu side has made a huge claim that an half-inch thick and 63 centimeters deep hole was made into the oval-shaped structure they describe as the shivling.
एडवोकेट कमीशन की जो रिपोर्ट है उसमें स्पष्ट रूप से लिखा हुआ है कि उसमें 63 सेंटीमीटर का छेद है, और वो छेद जाहिर सी बात है हम लोगों ने नहीं किया, क्योंकि वो हमारे पोजीशन में नहीं था। पिछले 40-50 सालों से वो एरिया, अपर एरिया जो मस्जिद का है, जहाँ पे शिवलिंग मिला है, वो मुस्लिम पक्ष के कब्जे में था और जिसको वजू खाना बनाने की कोशिश की गई।
The Hindu side also claims that an attempt was made to remove a disc-like object from the basement of the Gyanvapi premises after the place was sealed on orders of the court, and that alert security personnel prevented the removal of the evidence in the form of a disc-shaped object similar to the shape that was found on top of the structure, being described as the holy shivling.
कोरोबोरेटेड बाय गवाही जो वहाँ के केयर टेकर है, उनसे पूछा गया कि इसके ऊपर क्या रखा है आपने, तो उन्होंने कहा कि इसके ऊपर फव्वारा चलता था जो 12 साल पहले चलता था, फिर बोला 20 साल पहले चलता था। और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट कोरोबोरेशन ये है कि अभी रिसेंटली वहाँ से कुछ लोग, एक चक्री थी जो स्टोर रूम में रखी हुई थी मस्जिद के, वहाँ से उसको ले जा रहे थे। जब सीआरपीएफ ने मना कर दिया तो उसको वापस अंदर रख दिया गया, क्योंकि वो रेड जोन है, ना उसमें कोई सामान ले जा सकता है ना ला सकता है।
The Gyanvapi Masjid Intizamiya Committee, on the other hand, has disputed the claims of the structure being a shivling or an attempt being made to drill a hole in the structure. They insist there was no tampering with evidence either with the structure or at the premises, especially with the entire sealed off area now being in control of the Central Reserve Police Force.
झूठ की भी कोई सीमा होती है। ऐसा झूठ बोलने और झूठ को बढ़ावा देने वालों के लिए हमारी गुजारिश है कि कम से कम सीमा के अंदर झूठ ही अगर बोलना है तो कम से कम सीमा के अंदर तो रहकर झूठ बोले। आप खुद अंदाज़ा लगाइए कि जिस दिन ये सब मामला सामने आया है उसी दिन से वो वज़ू खाना सील कर दिया गया, तो कौन जाकर छेड़छाड़ कर रहा है उससे?
There are no details yet in public domain when the attempt was allegedly made to remove the evidence from the premises or to drill a hole in the structure being described as the shivling by the Hindu side. Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain claims they will bring up the matter in court. With Samarth Srivastav and Kumar Abhishek in Varanasi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Sri Ram Sena chief Pramod Muthalik, meanwhile, has landed in another controversy. Muthalik has waded into the Masjid Mandir debate, claiming 30,000 temples are demolished to build mosques and that it will be taken back. He's even thrown an open challenge with this provocation, saying that Muslims should try to stop Hindus from reclaiming these sites. It will be impossible for them. He's, of course, no stranger to controversial comments. In this month alone, Muthalik has issued several open challenges to Muslims over the loudspeaker controversies, to Christians over the alleged illegal churches in South India. Adding fuel to the fire, the Sri Ram Sena chief's controversial statement comes on the heels of the heated Gyanvapi mosque controversy, which is also echoed at several religious sites in Karnataka.
ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನವನ್ನ ಒಡೆದು ಮಸೀದಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿದಿರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ತಾಕತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ತಡಿ, ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರನ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ವಾಪಸ್. ಅಯೋಧ್ಯ ಇದೇ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನೀವು. ಬಾಬರ್ ಮಸೀದಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ, ಬಾಬರ್ ಮಸೀದಿಯನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ರಕ್ತಪಾತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಹನಿ ರಕ್ತ ಬೀಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಸೊ ಮಣಲಿ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಮಾನ ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೌಹಾರ್ದತೆಯನ್ನು ಉಳಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಮಸೀದಿಯನ್ನ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನವನ್ನ ಒಡೆದು ಕಟ್ಟಿದಿರೋ ಅದನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಉದ್ಘಾಟಕರದ ಹೇಳುವಂತ, ಸೌಖ್ಯದಿಂದ ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಇದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ನಡೆಯುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೌಹಾರ್ದತೆಯನ್ನು ಬದುಕುವಂತ ಕಳೀರಿ ಅಂತನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಾನು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ.
The NCB's clean chit to Aryan Khan has left the anti-narcotics agency completely red-faced. The agency wasn't essentially able to find any evidence to suggest that Shah Rukh Khan's son actually took drugs on board this cruise. The organisers of the event have now alleged that they too were falsely accused in the drug case. Owners of event company Namaskray said that they had no idea about the drugs that were found at the event. The organisers claimed that their job was to organise the cruise and they had no control over the security. Listen in to what Gopalji Anand and Samir Segal had to say in this exclusive conversation with India Today.
At this point, we know that the Narcotics Control Bureau were keeping a close watch on this case, and while the NCB further probes into it, they say that a bunch of them who've got a clean chit did not have drugs on them. But on that Cordelia cruise ship itself, we hear that there was rampant usage of drugs on that ship, and the needle was pointing straight at the events company, saying the events company encouraged drugs within the premises of that Cordelia cruise ship, and it was a drugs party that was organized by Namaskar. How would you clear those allegations?
No, ma'am, it was never a drugs party which was organized on the cruise. It was neither us nor the cruise, right? And all these contrabands which were found, they were all already got. I mean, the NCB team got it at the port itself. And then, see, the first thing that you need to realize, it's an international port, right? The security is completely with the CISF. They are probably the most trained people to be carrying out searches like this, right? And then on top of that, on the cruise itself, the entire security is, as per the maritime law, is with the captain of the cruise. So if we don't have any access or control over the security, how do you expect us to be like controlling all these things, number one? And we are never into this, as I said earlier as well. We couldn't have even imagined in the wildest of our dreams that, we can be implicated into something like this.
You know, Samir Sehgal, you are also yourself, you were booked in the case and then now you're out on a clean chit. It must be a huge relief for you and people like Aryan Khan. We know the kind of trauma and torture that Shah Rukh Khan's family had to go through. I'm sure your family had to go through the same. Do you feel this was a plot to or a conspiracy to defame you or the company or Aryan Khan itself? How would you look at the investigation of this case, which the Narcotics Control Bureau today deems as flawed?
The investigation that went through had a lot of flaws in it in the beginning, which have completely been cleared out today. Yes, it's a big relief for all of us to be out and to know that what we knew already, that we are not at fault and we've not done anything illegal or against the law, to come out to the public.
What exactly and primarily was your role as an event organizer there, which now we know
we were the entertainment service providers. So the arrangement was that Cordelia, as the cruise was the organizer, we were the event service providers. That means we organized everything that was happening on the cruise with respect to the show itself. That means what artist will play, what time will he play, what kind of lights are going to be used. The entire blueprint of the show was with us. So that is what our job was.
So in that case, are you trying to say that you were completely targeted? Why were you arrested in that case? Why you and few others?
We are still trying to find an answer to that, which nobody has. And probably that is the reason why there is a case now. In fact, an investigation, not the case, let me rephrase. There's an investigation going on against Samir Wankhede.
So you say that you were targeted?
Sorry?
You say that you were targeted?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely yes.
And Aryan Khan was also targeted in that case, in your view? In your view, even Aryan Khan was targeted. This was a conspiracy to frame you all.
Ma'am, probably yes. He's a star kid. I can assure you one thing. He did not have any contrabands on him. Because I was there at the cruise at the time when Aryan was detained. I was definitely standing there. And I was the one who went up to Samir Wankhede and asked him that, why are you detaining him?
So you're saying that you met Aryan Khan, you interacted with him and he had no contrabands on him?
No, he did not. Being one of the heads in the company, I was there on ground that day because there was another issue of check-in failure that had happened, and there was a major chaos because of the check-in. So at that point of time, I was on ground, and when they detained Aryan, I was standing right there.
Now, 2 days after the Narcotics Control Bureau gave a clean chit to Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan, this was in last year's Cordelia drug case, lawyer Satish Manishinde, remember he represented Riya Chakrabarti in a very similar case against her. He's seeking an inquiry into the drug case against the actor, against Riya. Pankaj Upadhyay spoke to Riya's lawyer Satish Manishinde. Here's their exclusive conversation.
देश के जाने माने एडवोकेट सतीश माने शिंदे इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं। सर, आर्यन खान केस में तो एक तरीके का क्लोजर आ गया है, लेकिन हमें याद पड़ता है कि यू हैव बीन वेरी क्रिटिकल ऑफ द स्टाइल एंड फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द एनसीबी जब रिया चक्रवर्ती और उनके भाई शौबिक चक्रवर्ती का केस आया था। क्या कहेंगे अब आप?
देखिए, पिछली 3 सालों से लगातार एनसीबी ने झूठे केसेस रजिस्टर करके बहुत से लोगों को तकलीफ दी है। जब तक हम इनके खिलाफ एक्शन नहीं लेंगे तो ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा। रिया चक्रवर्ती और उसके भाई के केस में उनके पास कुछ बरामद नहीं हुई थी, सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप चैट्स थे और कोई कनेक्शन था नहीं इनका। और रिया चक्रवर्ती और उसके भाई को टेस्ट भी नहीं किया था, फिर भी उनको एनसीबी ने अरेस्ट करके हिरासत में रख के उनको तकलीफ दी थी। और हम हाईकोर्ट से मांग की थी कि इनके खिलाफ एक्शन लेवे और बेल एप्लीकेशन में हमने जिक्र भी किया था कि ये टोटली सरासर झूठा केस है। और वही मुद्दा हमने किसी और केसेस में भी बहुत से केसेस में लिए थे, लेकिन जब आर्यन खान का केस खुलासा हो गया कि ऐसे झूठे आरोप लगा के एनसीबी के जो 3-4 ऑफिसर्स थे, पता नहीं ये क्यों कर रहे थे, लेकिन पूरे बॉलीवुड इंडस्ट्री को इन्होंने रिया चक्रवर्ती के टाइम में बुला के उनको तकलीफ देके हर एक स्टार को बदनाम करके पता नहीं किस दौर से वो कर रहे थे उस टाइम।
Let's move on to some other stories that we're tracking this morning. Some respite that's come for actor Jacqueline Fernandez. The court has finally allowed her to travel abroad to attend the IFA Awards. The actress can travel to Abu Dhabi between May 31st to June 6th. Permission has been granted for the same after the lookout circular was suspended against Jacqueline. Thereby, she's been granted permission to travel abroad upon submitting a deposit of 50 lakh rupees as surety. Jacqueline earlier had withdrawn her application to travel abroad after the ED had informed court that the reasons cited by her to travel abroad were false. The Enforcement Directorate verified Jacqueline's stated reason and found that IFA had actually been postponed and she wasn't a part of the Dabang tour in Nepal either. Welcome back. The hijab showdown continues to simmer in Karnataka as students of the Mangalore University tried to enter college wearing a hijab. They were denied entry into their classes as well as the library. The administration tried to convince the girls to take off their hijabs, but they refused to do so. The College Development Committee on Friday decided not to allow students to wear their hijabs inside the campus. The principal has claimed that she was being pressurized by local MLAs after some of the students had actually brought this issue to light. They protested against their fellow students wearing the hijab to class. Karnataka Chief Minister, meanwhile, Basuraj Bommai, has asked all to follow the court order. Now, the textbook war in Karnataka continues to escalate. This row has heated up further after prominent writers Devanur Mahadeva and Dr. G. Ramakrishna asked the state government to drop their chapters from textbooks, demonstrating their anger against the revision committee's report. The controversy, of course, surrounding the fact that chapters about RSS founder Hedgewar have been added into Karnataka school textbooks. The BJP is rallied behind Education Minister B.C. Nagesh's move, but a fresh war of words is likely to erupt, with the ruling BJP even alleging that the Congress is responsible for spreading misinformation on these revisions. Meanwhile, the writer and chairman of the Karnataka textbook panel spoke exclusively to India Today, saying only certain things were corrected and that if any proof of wrong influence on students arises, the panel will make necessary changes. The Bommai government has stood by these revisions, claiming it's in the interest of teaching students the real history of India.
Out of 2 pages, about like 90% of the thing had been covered by Tipu's achievements only, Tipu's contributions only. So it was kind of imbalanced view. So we wanted to trim it down. We wanted to give more details about Odayers. We wanted to give more details about other people who have contributed in Mysore region.
Hedgewar ಹೆಸರು ಸೇರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ದೇಶದ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಡ್ಗೇವಾರ್ ಏನು ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ಭಾಷಣದ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶವನ್ನು ಪಠ್ಯಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ದೇಶ ಪ್ರೇಮದ ವಿಚಾರ. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸೇವಕ ಸಂಘ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು, ಹೆಡ್ಗೇವಾರ್ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲ. ಈ ದೇಶದ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಭಕ್ತಿಯ ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಅವರೇನು ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಪ್ಪೇನಿದೆಯಾ? ಏನು ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಅಲಿ ಜಿನ್ನಾ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತಾ? ಔರಂಗಜೇಬ್ ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಒಡೆದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಈಶ್ವರಲಿಂಗ ಒಡೆದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅವನ ಹೆಸರು ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತಾ?
Meanwhile, a woman died by suicide because of alleged blackmail from her lover. The BJP has claimed this to be a case of love jihad. The woman in Karnataka's Udupi consumed rat poison after her lover allegedly blackmailed that he would leak her private photos online. According to the family, the key accused is the 32-year-old who was in a relationship with the victim. The man, Anis, had another family. He was married and was allegedly blackmailing the victim into marrying him, threatening that he would otherwise leak her private pictures on social media. The BJP has accused the man here of love jihad, claiming that the victim was in a relationship with him for over 4 years, but then he later dumped her. And that's all we have time for on this broadcast. I'm leaving you with images, perhaps inspiring as well, from Venezuela in South America. Juan Perez Mora, the world's oldest man on your screens there. He's actually celebrated his 113th birthday. That's right, 113. He shared the secret to his long life. I'm sure you're all dying to know what he said. He's saying that the secret to a long life is a glass of sugarcane hooch every day. Enjoy this footage. We'll be joining you in just a bit with lots more.